Hey everyone, this is Kenji López-Alt. I'm here at home. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy and washing your hands. Today I'm going to show you how to make probably the easiest pasta dish around, Cacio e Pepe. It's kind of like Italian Roman mac and cheese. And if you're looking for the traditional version, I'm probably going to piss off your Italian grandmothers, so just warning you now. Here we go. All right, so the first thing we want to do, so I got this pasta, this water boiling. I'm going to add some salt to it. There's no reason to add salt at the end. You can start it right when you put the water on. I'm only doing it at the end to show you how much salt I put in there. And now we need our pasta. Let's see. That's bucatini. Spaghetti would be the normal thing. Bucatini. Oh, it looks like I only got bucatini. All right, we'll do bucatini. Bucatini, any really long, skinny pasta will do. Bucatini is basically like spaghetti that has a hole down the middle. It takes a little bit longer to cook, but that's fine. So you'll see I'm doing it in a skillet. Very, very untraditional way to do it. Most people will tell you that you need a giant pot of boiling water. This is actually not the case. I don't know where that rumor got started. Probably because with fresh pasta, you certainly do need a lot of boiling water, otherwise it sticks together. Also with like super old school pasta that's done on brass dies. Oh, actually, let me show you. So sorry. This, I know these two brands of pasta are different. Both of them are good brands of pasta, but one of them is better than the other. And it's because if you look at the surfaces, so I don't know if you can see this, but I'll try and be as still, get as good lighting and be as still as possible. So one of these is relatively smooth on the surface. And that's because, well, I believe it's done on brass dies. Maybe this one's done on, I believe it's done on Teflon dies, but maybe this one's done on a really smooth brass die. This brand of pasta, you can see it's a much rougher surface. You can actually see sort of like nooks and crannies and cracks in the pasta, and that's because it's extruded very slowly through brass dies as opposed to very modern pasta, which is like the stuff you get in the supermarket, the really cheap stuff. That's extruded on Teflon dies, which allows them to extrude it much, much faster, but the edges end up smoother. The reason that's important is because when you have these rough edges, what that translates to is more starch coming off the surface of the pasta and into your pasta water, and that is important for reasons I'll show you why soon. Anyhow, that's why different types of pasta are better or worse. Anyhow, if you have like a super old school pasta like that that's made the really traditional way. Oh, the other big difference is that old school pasta is dried at a lower temperature, whereas modern pasta is dried at a higher temperature. When you dry it at a higher temperature, what you do is you kind of deactivate the starch so that it doesn't thicken your sauces and emulsify them in the same way. I'll show you what I mean when we're finishing up this dish. When you have really old school pasta, also, with modern pasta, you can actually put it in a pot with like cold water, start it boiling, and it'll cook up just fine. Like, in fact, you won't be able to tell the difference between that and pasta that's been cooked in a big pot of boiling water. With very old school pasta, it's possible that if you try doing that, it'll stick together because there's so much loose starch on the surface. But the real trick is just make sure you stir well at the beginning. And if, I know there's going to be a lot of people in the comments telling me I'm wrong for doing this, but I've done numerous tests on this, as have other people, but you can't tell the difference between pasta that's cooked in this much water and pasta that's cooked in a giant pot of water. And in fact, a smaller volume of water is better because it ends up making the pasta water starchier. There's more loose starch in the pasta water, and that's important for when we finish our sauce. I'll show you. All right, so over here, I got a second skillet. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna take some olive oil, put it in there. So with traditional cacio e pepe, you add raw ground black pepper. What I like to do is add it in a couple of phases. So I got black pepper here. I'm gonna put them in this mortar and pestle. You don't need to use a mortar and pestle. You can just use a pepper mill. Actually, this is a molcajete, the Mexican version, but I like this because it gives you kind of coarser texture. All right, that's what we got. So I'm going to take this pepper and put it in the olive oil. So traditionally with cacio e pepe, you would add the raw pepper at the end. I like to bloom it a little bit in the olive oil. First of all, it infuses the oil with the black pepper flavor. Oh, I didn't tell you this, but cacio e pepe means pasta with cacio e pepe is cheese and pepper. Those are the only two real ingredients in it other than the pasta and the olive oil. I'm going to add some butter. People are going to crucify me for that, but I don't really care because it tastes good. So you toast the pepper in the olive oil. That sort of improves its flavor, gives it a little bit of sweetness. It also infuses the olive oil with black pepper flavor, which gets to your pasta. This pasta's got a little bit to go. Let's see, what else can we talk about in the meantime? Well, let's talk about the cheeses. The cheese I'm using, and what this dish is traditionally made with, is pecorino romano. I think actually, because of this whole quarantine thing, the only one I could find was Boar's Head, like an American brand, but it actually tastes pretty fine. It's not bad at all. It's a sheep's milk cheese from oh shoot, I'm gonna call it on the fly, and I'm probably gonna be wrong, and people are gonna yell at me, but I believe it's from Emilia-Romagna. Sheep's milk cheese. Flavor similar to, say, like a sharper, a little bit more acidic Parmesan, but you can use it in very much the same way. It's great for grating. It's great for grating. You can, of course, also make this dish with Parmesan. All right, so pepper's toasting. Pasta's boiling. I don't know what to do now. We gotta wait for the pasta to boil. Maybe I'll tell a joke. What do you call bucatini that's dressed up as spaghetti? You call it an impasta. Get it? All right, that's sizzling a little bit. You don't want to let it burn, so I'm going to shut it off. And let's see, I guess I can grate a little. No, I'm not even going to grate a little cheese because we're just going to grate it straight in the pot. This is a super, super simple dish. Not much else to do other than stand here and wait. Maybe I'll cut until the pasta's done. All right, I'm going to cut the video now, and I will come back. I promise it'll only be like a 2-minute cut, okay? Cut. Okay, we're back. That was probably like a 2-minute cut. Here we go. All right, so at this point, our pasta is basically done. What you're looking for is a little bit less than al dente, which means it's still gonna have like a little bit of raw pasta flavor in the very center. You don't want it, definitely don't want it to be mushy. So the pasta's gonna cook a little bit more in the other pan. What I'm gonna do is I'm taking some butter, adding it here. Butter is not a traditional part of this dish, so don't mistake that. But I like the way it, I like the richness it adds. It also makes it a little easier to emulsify the sauce. So the key here is you don't need to drain your pasta at all. In fact, it's better not to drain it because what happens is the pasta water, which has starch in it, that's what's gonna sort of thicken up and emulsify the sauce and make it so that the cheese, first of all, doesn't clump up. But it also kind of makes the sauce nice and creamy. So add a little bit of extra pasta water to it. All right, now what I'm gonna do is a little bit more pasta water. I'm gonna take my cheese. Grate it in there. Now, if you weren't to use pasta water, let's say you would just use plain water, what would end up happening is that your cheese would kind of clump. The proteins would clump together. And what we're really looking for is a nice creamy sauce. Emulsification, that's what we're looking for. Some toasted pepper and some fresh pepper. A little bit of fresh olive oil too. And we want this to kind of vigorously cook for just a minute, just until the pasta's done. a spoon. And with pasta like this, if it ever starts to dry out, or if you ever see the sauce breaking, I don't know if you can see that. Wait, let me get my... Yeah, you can probably see that. But if the sauce ever breaks so it looks like kind of oily, that's an indication that you need a little bit more pasta water. And that's the case with pasta sauces or with any kind of pan sauce. Like let's say you're making a pan sauce for chicken. You want to make sure that it stays nice and creamy and emulsified. A little bit more pasta water. All right, I think it's been about, how long has it been in the pan? A couple minutes. All right, get our bowl to serve this in. See how nice and creamy that sauce is? That's really what you're looking for. Whoop. This pasta is a little too stiff to do with the little fork method, so I'm just gonna dump it in. What else do we need? A little more fresh cracked black pepper on top. Do a little extra cheese on the top. And that is Cacio e Pepe, classic Roman pasta dish. If you want to do this in front of your Italian friends, use more water and don't use butter. But I like to do it this way. Sit. Down. Good girl. Wait. Shabu. Sit. Wait. 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 Okay.